A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So euro dollar first, guys. Euro dollar has started to retrace a little bit back in towards the upside, but still very weak momentum, as we can see, not really moving at all. So on the daily time frame, we are still situated inside this area of daily demand. Personally, euro dollar is not the most interesting pair of the major dollar pairs, but still looking for a potential pullback in towards this area of consolidation before looking for some further downside. Now, if you want to take longs on euro dollar, and you obviously do expect a potential pullback play here on the 4-hour time frame after this massive overextended move in towards downside, a break of structure, you obviously want to see a pullback start, especially if we have all of these equal highs right over here. So lower high, and all of these little lower highs over here. These are just, for me, purely liquidity highs, which I want to see get taken out very, very soon. However, in order to take a valid long, guys, what do I need? I need to see the 4-hour market structure shift, because on such a bearish 4-hour time frame, it is going to be very risky to buy, right? Because if you just look at the 15-minute time frame and you just purely buy on what the 15-minute is doing, then you're going to get stopped out many, many times. You could look potentially at the 1-hour time frame for a potential long. That is also a possibility. So I will be looking at the 1-hour time frame, but it is just not as high probability as the 4-hour. Now, on the 4-hour as well, what do we have here? We have a fresh area of demand. Next to that, we have a major swing low underneath which lies liquidity. So I would prefer to see a drop down from euro dollar. Then this becomes your 4-hour fractal high. We grab liquidity underneath the early buyers, and then we see market structure shift. We go long and we take out all of these equal highs. Now, obviously, this is the ideal scenario, but what is the non-ideal scenario? Well, that is looking at the 1-hour time frame and then understanding that the 1-hour order flow could already push the market up higher. So here we had a market structure shift after breaking this high over here. So now let's see if we can break this high as well and start pushing with momentum. Then you could also start looking at longs on the 1-hour order flow. Okay, so that is kind of my backup plan, but again, not the ideal scenario. So looking at the dollar index itself, the dollar index has been consolidating quite a bit after Friday news. If we go in towards Forex Factory, you can very clearly see on both Monday and today is Tuesday, there is no news at all. Only tomorrow we're going to see some FOMC meeting minutes. So I expect the market not to really move that much until tomorrow. So that's why we're also seeing the market currently consolidate. Go back into the daily. At the moment, we are inside daily supply. So it would not be surprising to see a potential pullback from the dollar index in towards the downside. Okay, so now going into Australian dollar against the US dollar, what are we seeing there? So first of all, on the daily time frame, we have daily demand hit. Okay, so overall the daily is still bullish, so it would not be surprising to start seeing some bullish momentum come into the market here on Aussie dollar, especially after grabbing liquidity underneath this so-called liquidity low over here. Then what you do is you go in towards the 4-hour time frame, and obviously you understand that we've seen a pretty overextended move in towards the downside. However, it is crucial to wait for bullish momentum to kick in, because the biggest issue or the biggest thing or biggest mistake that you can make is just buying randomly from an area of demand. So for example, over here, a lot of people saw this as an opportunity to go long in towards the upside. However, if you actually understand how the markets move, is that they move impulsively, they move how they want to. So you need to look for confirmation that this demand zone and this liquidity low were actually going to reverse the market. So what I was doing is I draw out this fractal high. As you can see, the fractal high at all times got respected, so we just continue down lower. Then again, we create a new fractal high over here, but then again the fractal high gets respected and we just push down lower. So this is now your valid area of supply, pushing the market down lower. So what I'm now going to look at is just, okay, can the 4-hour flip bullish? Can that daily demand zone give us some bullish momentum to look for a potential pullback play here on Aussie dollar from this daily area of demand? Otherwise, you just continue looking for further downside on this pair. It is fundamentally very, very bearish, so it would make sense to still just continue pushing down lower. However, obviously, even with it being bearish on fundamental, we do know that the daily is still bullish. The 4-hour has seen a BOS. What do we expect after a 4-hour BOS? With the daily being bullish, we expect a pullback in towards the upside or a push up. Now I'm just waiting for that bullish momentum to kick in to then look for a potential long. So waiting for those potential longs on Aussie dollar. Until then, just follow the order flow down and continue to look for shorts from these areas of supply, as this one over here, until you reach a fresh area of demand. Now going into GBPUSD, what are we seeing there? So GBPUSD is now also inside daily demand, just like, for example, Aussie dollar and euro dollar. But what we now need from these pairs is, once again, bullish momentum. So again, the same mistake that people are making on Aussie dollar, they also made here on GBPUSD, going long after what they thought was just a liquidation of this low over here. However, we need the real momentum to kick in. Yesterday's outlook was pretty accurate, with this being your supply that played out. Now this is your overall supply zone. This is the overall order flow, which is currently sustaining. So what I'm looking for is that order flow to get broken. So overall, what you're now seeing is a low break, another low break over here. So what I now need is a high break. So I want this high to go, this black line. If we can break that, then I'll be looking for longs to take out this area of supply before then, for example, heading back down lower again or heading up higher depending on momentum. But yeah, looking for a potential long after this corrective pattern in towards the downside, coming into daily demand and liquidating this low. However, we need to see the bullish momentum kick in. So just waiting for that structure shift to then go long. Otherwise, just continue to short on GBPUSD. Just keep in mind it is getting lower probability to short this, but obviously supply here on the 1 hour time frame after liquidating the highs over here is playing out pretty beautifully. So you're going to just keep an eye on what GU wants to do next. Until then, I mean, if we start breaking this demand zone, it could drop as deep as all the way over here into, let me just quickly see, what is this, around 1.28718. So keep in mind, if this demand zone does not hold and the overall momentum here on the 4 hour remains bearish, with us just breaking the lows continuously and the overall order flow remaining bearish, we could just keep on pushing down lower. In this leg here, there is no real clear demand. Also, if you view the daily, so then I would just keep an eye on this demand zone over here if we break the current daily demand. Going into NZDUSD, what are we seeing there? Further downside still. I mean, exactly as we predicted yesterday. Remember what I mentioned, there is no demand zone, guys, over here, nothing fresh. Therefore, what is happening, we're just moving in towards this major swing low here on the daily time frame. So just still waiting for that swing low to get taken out. You can watch back yesterday's video. I said the exact same, just waiting for this to get taken out. So either we reverse on this or we reverse from this daily area of demand. So looking for longs on NZDUSD very soon. However, again, we need the momentum to shift. So if we look at NZDUSD here, you can again very clearly see massive overextend move in towards the downside, with the dollar being extremely bullish. So now what I just want is us to grab liquidity underneath this low, then you'll have a nice and valid long on your hands. Until then, just follow the overall momentum. So here you can see fractal low break. This is your fractal high. Here again, fractal low break. This is your fractal high. So let's see if we break or we start breaking the high of this bearish candle, then potentially we could start looking for a pullback. But I would prefer just to add additional confluence to the trade to take out this overall liquidity low, as that would just increase the overall probability so much more on any potential longs on NZDUSD. So yeah, you could already take longs if we start breaking fractal structure, but just keep in mind it is far higher probability if we come, for example, from this daily demand zone and if we take out this liquidity low. Going into gold last of all. So gold is still consolidating, as you can see. I mentioned this in yesterday's video. If you just zoom out a bit, you can very clearly see that we have our range low over here, which is acting as a level of support, and we have our range highs, which are acting as areas of resistance. So the market is just consolidating. I am waiting for it to break out. Obviously, we did mention that you still have this fresh 1 hour area of demand over here inside this candle, with this as your liquidity low from NFP. So who knows, maybe if we push into towards there, we could reverse back up higher. That is the first potential long that I'm looking at, but I also understand that we have quite some equal lows here to our left as well. So we have this low, and these lows, and then, for example, maybe push in towards this demand zone over here, this imbalance candle. So keep an eye on that as well if we maybe push just slightly below the overall range. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all an amazing day. Make sure to join Discord, a massive announcement during the New York session if you want to receive signals and trade alongside us on a daily basis. See you inside Discord and have an amazing day. Thanks.